computation of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay, good. Now let's compute directly the consistency index. I repeat the last instruction. Okay, the consistency index. Let's see what is the result. You see that it's higher, 0.23. And now we have to compute, here it is, and let's see what is the result for this number. Is 0.26. So you see that it's higher than 0.1. It's clearly not consistent. So if I computed the weight, what would happen then? Let's see the weights. These are the weights. Basically, you see some confusion because there is still a good importance that is assigned to the economical benefit. This is a comparison. You have the correct weights with the consistent matrix here and the wrong ones. But you see that there is some confusion because the third indicator gets an higher weight at the expense of the touristic appeal. So the third indicator is the landscape, which gains in importance because we made a wrong evaluation. We gave more importance to the landscape with respect to tourism. So we provoked the decrease of the weight of tourism and the increase of the weight of the landscape, which is wrong. And therefore keep in mind that you don't see the wrong, the mistake by looking at the results. You see the mistake if you look at the consistency of the matrix. Otherwise, you still get weights that sum up to 1, and you don't see clearly the mistake. So a non-consistent matrix gives to you weights anyway. So this clearly emphasizes the importance of being consistent and checking the consistency. Okay. Now, basically, we completed the first part of our exercise, which is the computation of the weights. And of course, we did it quite quickly, but we don't have to underestimate the importance and the complexity of this process because we didn't discuss it. You just took for approved what I suggested, but indeed, in a real case, when you put stakeholders together, it may be more complicated, much complicated, if not impossible, to reach an agreement. So this is the complexity of water resources management. If you adopt a transparent approach, which is needed, which is proved to be needed if you want to reach a consensus, then during a transparent discussion, reaching a compromise could be really difficult. And of course, in this way, by moving forward with pairwise comparison, it's easier. It's easier because think of an hypothetical alternative solution, which could be to assign the weights just by discussing them. It would be almost impossible because you have to assign 4 numbers with the only constraint that they have to sum up to 1. And of course, it's really complicated in a discussion to reach this target. Instead, in a discussion, if you basically move forward with the comparison 2 by 2, it's much easier because with very simple decisions, you build, while you move forward, the constraints for the future decisions. So once that you say that the economical benefit has a greater importance with respect to ecosystem, and the importance of the economical benefit with respect to ecosystem is higher than the importance of economical benefit with respect to landscape, you imply that the landscape is less important than the ecosystem, but you imply it in a sequence of simple decisions. So this process is certainly easier. Still, reaching a consensus, of course, could be complicated. And the ideal situation is to discuss these weights by making reference to the specific case study, of course, but without showing what are the implications in terms of decision. So the suggestion in a participatory approach is just to focus on the single decision, pairwise comparison that is taken at each step, without trying to anticipate what is the implication of this pairwise comparison on the final result. So basically, as I already mentioned to you, it's important to give to the stakeholders all the information that they need to perform this pairwise comparison. It would be wrong if you said to these people, look, if you give more importance to the economical benefit, you get more money, and you have an higher impact on the environment, because they anticipate then what is the final outcome. They, of course, the stakeholders try to anticipate what is the final outcome. And therefore, it's much better to give only the information that is required to take any single comparison. And I give to you the example of the enrollment of professors. We try to discuss the criteria before looking at the curriculum vitae of the candidates, because, of course, if you knew the curriculum vitae of all the candidates, when you discuss the criteria, you may anticipate the outcome of the selection. Instead, if you don't provide any information on the curriculum vitae of the candidate, it's easier to reach a compromise of the criteria. So is it more important the fact that a professor teaches well, or the fact that he makes a very good research activity? So if you knew the name of the candidate and the information of the candidate, then you can anticipate and say, okay, if I give information to research, maybe that the final outcome is Montanari. If I give more information, more weight on the quality of the teaching, maybe the final outcome is Castellarini. So this kind of anticipation doesn't help in reaching the consensus. The ideal situation is that in which you discuss on what you want from a professor without delivering information on the candidates. And in this case, the ideal situation is, okay, we refer to the Secchia River in the Emilia-Romagna region. What is important from this river? It's important to preserve tourism, to preserve fishermen, without giving information on information that could allow the stakeholders to anticipate the final outcome. Okay? Okay, I think we can make a break now, 15 minutes, and then after the break, we see the second part of that exercise. And in the second part, before developing the second part, I need to give some theoretical anticipation of theory. Okay? Okay, let me turn the camera off.